Hey everyone, this is video 2 in writing your resume, and we are now moving into writing the objective portion of the resume. This is also a good time for me to tell you that sometime, you may hear someone say that writing an objective is outdated. You shouldn't be doing it. You should be doing it the modern way. And I will tell you that yes, that might be true, but with the research that we've done, people who are entering their careers for the first time should still be using objectives, and people who are making switches in careers should also use objectives. So for that reason, most of you are here because you're either entering your career for the first time, or you're switching careers. So that is why we've made the conscious decision to stick with objectives in the resume. I do realize that some of you are highly qualified individuals already with many years of experience, master's degrees, so on and so forth. You may qualify for being allowed to make more changes on your resume for that reason. If you feel that is the case, contact me and we'll work through it. But we're going to assume everybody still needs an objective on their resume. So let's switch to my resume that I'm building with you. Under your header, which you developed in the first video, you will have an objective. Now at this point in time, I don't want you to worry about what it looks like. We're going to pretty it up later. We're just getting the words correctly placed and the content correctly placed. So your objective would come right here, right under the header, and we're going to talk about how to write a great objective so that you get a resume. So I mentioned this. We use objectives if we're changing careers or if we're just getting started, and that's most of you. So how do I write an objective? What is a great objective? So what I would like you to do is pause right now and go out to this YouTube link and watch this short clip that tells you how to write a great objective. And it is a really great short video on just that, writing the objective. So go out and watch that and then come back to us here. I'm going to assume that you went out and watched the video and you are back here now with me, and these are the things that you learned from watching that video. When you write an objective, it states exactly the position you are applying for. So if you are applying for the waitress position at Applebee's, then in your objective, I will see the title waitress position at Applebee's. If you have qualifications for that position, you must also state those. And that could be schooling, it could be special skills, it could be an area of expertise, but somehow try to capture 3 things that qualify you for the position, whether it be schools or skills or education. And then make the employer, convince the employer, I should say, that you would benefit them with something that you possess. That's what you need to do in an objective. So let's take a look at sample objectives that you might use. I have 3 here, and 1 is a bad objective and 2 are good objectives. So let's take a look at the first one. Outgoing certified public accountant with an MBA, schooling, qualification, and 2 years of experience, qualification, in specialized tax services, special skill, specialized tax services. Seeking to leverage my technical and professional expertise to grow in the new role of accountant. There's the position at your company. Now you realize you won't say your company, you'll actually state the name of the company, right? Okay, so this person does it all. They tell us what their qualifications are, they tell us what job they're applying for, and they make the employer realize that they would be a benefit to them by stating this information right here in the second line. The second one does relatively the same thing. We have a dump truck driver position. What makes a dump truck driver qualified? Well, they have to have a CDL, and that person has it here, and they have 2 years experience. And they're wishing to leverage their experience to fill the position of truck driver. Okay, so what is he applying for? The truck driver position at the company. And then what would make this employee a benefit? Look at there, he has safety on his side, 0 accidents or injuries. So that makes the employer say, this would be a great employee to have. Okay. Third objective, obtain a challenging management position. A challenging management position. So this person is basically stating to me, I'll take a job anywhere, but they don't say what qualifies them or what skills they have for the position. So as you guess, this would be a bad objective because it doesn't fulfill any of those 3 requirements. All right, so if you're feeling still a little shaky about how to write a great objective, I'd like to send you out to this article about writing objectives. It has more sample objectives that you can kind of model from, and it has great advice. So if you're still not feeling sure about how to formulate that objective, go to that website at this time. Real quick, there is no room at any point on the resume to use the word I. We already know that the resume is about you, so there's no reason to use I. And if you need further instruction on that, go ahead and watch that video as well. All right, then just a highlight. Some of you who have been in a career field for a certain length of time, you might, instead of an objective, use a career summary, especially if you have been, you're going into the nursing field and you've been a nurse or you've had nursing experience in the military. You might probably be more apt to use a career summary. If you're feeling like this is you going the career summary route, go ahead and watch this video and formulate a career summary instead on your resume. Most of us would benefit then under the objective using a summary of skills heading. And this is where I report all the skills I have, all the qualifications I have for the position I'm applying for. The section could also be called Summary of Qualifications, or it could also be called Professional Summary. If you indeed have been working for a certain period of time, would you use the Professional Summary? I do have an additional video if you would like more help with the Summary of Skills section. There is one structural issue I want to discuss. Whenever you're listing your skills in a resume, anything you list should be bulleted, and it should be grammatically, how do I want to say that? Should be similar in structure. Let's say that. Parallel, for those of you English students that remember this from junior English. So look what I've done here. This would be a sample of summary skills. We have someone who is a resume writer and interview expert. So they're using 2 words to describe their skills. And if we want to get technical, they're using adjective, noun, adjective, noun. So for this third qualification that I might have, notice how it's much longer. It's because it's not structurally similar to the first 2. And I don't want that. I want structural similarity. So if I look at this, 12 years experience including financial advising. What I could do to make it similar is just put financial advisor or financial expert to make my 2-word similarity continue through the list. So let's go to my sample resume and let me kind of show you what this looks like. Please don't model the format. We are working on content right now. We're not worried about how pretty it is or columns or indentations. We're not going to worry about that quite yet. So my objective, this is the one I borrowed from the sample that I gave you. It's right under, as you can see, right under the header. And then if I do a summary of skills, that is right here. Now, a lot of times if you have a summary of skills, and let's say you have 10 skills, you don't want to list them all on one side because it creates a lot of white space, and white space has a tendency to signify lack of qualifications, even though, yes, your qualifications are all on the left. It's just human nature when you see white space on a resume to think not qualified. So there's a trick here though for creating two columns. It will work. Let me show you how we do that. If you do insert and then do table and click two columns like that, don't worry about the border. We're going to take care of that later. But if I copy your list and take half of your list items, put them in the left, and then we can get rid of these, and then take the other half of your list items, copy them, and put them in the box. They're going to be much easier to manage and move around. I will also tell you this, that the only thing that should be bold in bold font would be your headings, like objective and summary of skills. These pieces of information should not be bold. And if I'm going to use, let's see, 11-point font, I should be at 11-point font on these as well. So we really need to have consistency throughout the resume on everything we do as well. Okay, so I am ready now to get rid of the border, so I just right-click on my table and I do border styles. Nope, that is not correct. I right-click on my table and do table properties, and I do down here borders and shading, and I click none, and my borders should disappear. There we go. That's how you manage columns on a resume. So we are going to let you complete at this time your objective and your summary of skills. And again, go back and watch the sample videos that I have throughout the PowerPoint to get even more advice on creating those two components of your resume. I'll see you back for the third video.